A man is killed while being held in jail. His death? A headshot from above, through the ceiling, the ductwork,
and the roof of the building with no clear line of sight. Who could possibly have made this impossible shot?
This is not happening.
I don't know, Andrew. I think we're going to find out.
Mike, that's what we call in the business sure kill.
Sure kill. Well, Andrew, I know you've been waiting all your X-Files career for an X-Ray Eye episode.
I don't know if I have. I don't know if I have, to be fair. But this is that episode. And wow, what an episode. It is Sure Kill, the 8th episode of season 8. It is written by Greg Walker. Mike, do you remember where we've seen Greg Walker's work before?
Greg Walker.
It's one of your favorites. In fact, it is your favorite.
Brand X.
Yes. Yeah. Greg Walker is the executive story editor now in at this point in X-Files. And he wrote this one. He's going to write Empedocles further on. He comes to the X-Files from Harsh Realm, the one-season wonder that was written by Chris Carter and got canned. But then Chris and Frank did him a solid by bringing him on board to X-Files. And I think Stephen Maida may have been Harsh Realm as well. But that's where they come from. So they're refilling the ranks as time goes on. And the director of this is a guy named Terrence O'Hara, who is a prolific television director renowned for his extensive work on crime procedurals and genre shows. Died in 2022. So that's the DNA of this episode. Anything you want to say about it before we start the sure killing?
I think...
What are your opening feelings? Is that going to be a thing we do now? What are your opening feelings?
My opening feelings of the episode. I think if you're looking for just a popcorn episode, this one might work for you. That's my opening feeling.
I buy that. And in fact, I would agree with that. It's a bit of a classic X-Files caper. I would venture to say this would not have been out of place in season 1 or season 2 in kind of the style of writing. No. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, well.
I could see Toombs being a sniper. Who shoots people from
he totally fits in this episode.
Runs up to them and eats their liver.
Yeah, how did this guy get into the vent to take the shot? Well, I got a guy for that.
Yep.
It's Toombs' sister, who is now an assassin. Yeah, this should have been Squeeze 3. Squeeze cubed. That's what we should have had here.
Alien 3.
Oh, yeah. The run to the litter. Okay. Shots fired? Is that a favorite of yours?
I'm actually, it's in my final thoughts. I'm not even kidding you.
Really?
That is in my final. So
Alien 3 is in your final thoughts for this episode?
I'm not even shitting you. I'm looking at it right now.
I can't wait. I did not see that coming. All right.
That was completely
I got thoughts about Alien 3 if you want. We can just stop talking about
we can go over it. No, you know what? Fuck it. Let's forget Sure Kill. Let's talk about Ripley's prison planet romp.
David Fincher Alien. David Fincher, fresh from music videos, got to do his own first feature film. What a show.
And was shat upon by Fox.
Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait till final thoughts, and then I'm going to be a good boy and talk about X-Files, because that's what the good folks tuned in for.
Let's talk about X-Files. Please.
Let's talk about Sure Kill. Are you ready to start the Sure Kill?
I am.
Okay. Mike, we open on a city street at night with a phone booth in the center of the frame. Remember phone booths, Mike? It's what you used to use when you wanted to talk to people before cell phones. And I think in our last episode, I said something about a love letter to phones and answering machines.
Yeah.
It continues on. It's this, honestly.
Well, it is a week later, Andrew, so they didn't advance to smartphones just yet.
I wonder if they shot this episode and Via Negativa back to back, because there are a lot of rats in this one too. Like there's a whole rat scene.
Well, it's based around a rat-killing company.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a vermin company, I guess.
That's right. They do everything. Anyway, dude in the suit enters the frame and proceeds to make a call, looking paranoid and skittish. The legend tells us we're in Worcester, Massachusetts, 8:34 p.m. Man leaves a desperate message, begging the answer machine to call something off he's being lied about, and gives some details to back up his story. Just check out her right-hand desk drawer. The whole story is there. He looks over and sees a shadow on the sidewalk approaching him. He flees, leaving the phone off the hook. Another man rounds the corner, and his expression is all business. The first man runs and runs, sweating and exhausted. He stumbles. He sees a police station. His salvation? He charges inside, screaming for help, telling the two officers he sees that someone is going to kill him. They got to get him first. Freaking out, he tries to grab the gun of one of the cops, which prompts them to politely toss his ass into a cinder block cell. The cell looks impregnable, but the man proceeds to scream that it's not enough. He can get him in here. Relax, says one of the cops. You've never been safer in your life. As the other cop goes to call social services. The first cop looks on. The man who continues to scream that he's not safe, and suddenly, the man's head explodes, blood splattering on the window of the cell door, forever scarring the cop as he watches. Credits.
Good stuff.
What do you think, Mike?
I like it.
Can you judge a book by its cover? Are we going to enjoy this episode?
Well, I think it's intriguing for sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't see any issues with this opening. The urgency is absolutely felt. Whoever that actor is, he sold it. So he went for it, and good on him. It definitely is service to the episode. So I'm on board for this episode, and delightfully thick blood at the end there. So
it's pretty gooey. Yeah, definitely they decided to go with the thick blood in this one. No, I liked it too. I thought it was very compelling. I wasn't sure. There's a moment at the beginning where he's on the phone and the camera turns and you realize that he's on a television. Like it's by an electronics store or something, and the camera's looking at him.
Yeah, I was intrigued you didn't mention that, but they do that cool transition where he's our camera, the viewer camera is on him, and then the CRT lines come in and it fades out from that same image. It pulls back and we're watching him on TV. It was actually kind of a cool little unnecessary bit, but really cool.
And that's probably why I didn't call it out. Was at first, I mean, admittedly, it was a while since I'd seen this episode, and I kind of forgot the premise. And I thought, is that a thing that some of the TV's involved or recording is involved? But it does look like it was done for the whimsy of it. You know, that the director was like, "Oh, I've got this cool idea for a shot," so they did it, and it does look cool, but has no relevance.
It's unnecessary. It would have more of a home in a techno episode, like a Kill Switch or something. Yeah, but still looks cool. So I liked it.
Plot point: if it was recorded, and it's something that the agents look at later to see, oh, there's Randall who walked.
That's
by.
kind of the hint that I was thinking it would be, but alas,
yeah, but no, it wasn't there. So it's trash, and we should just move on. Anyway. After the credits, we see an x-ray of a man's skull with a hole shattering the top. Scully reviews it and describes the death.
They've identified it as 9mm pistol ammunition. Teflon-coated armor piercing. It's a single round. He was shot, there's no doubt about that.
So I assume the million-dollar question is how?
Yeah. Well, what do we know about the victim?
Carlton Chase, age 39, well-to-do realtor, single, lived in the area all his life. Nothing but parking tickets on his record. Came tearing in here last night saying someone was going to kill him.
He was right.
Except I don't see any bullet holes in the walls.
Well, the round looks to have entered through the top of his head.
Agents. Thanks for coming down so quick. Al Triguero.
John Doggett.
Nice to meet you.
Agent Scully.
Agent.
Thanks.
I'd appreciate any help you can give us. We got this much figured out so far.
Bullet came through the air vent.
Yeah, that's how it's looking. There's a little bar on this louver right here where the bullet passed through. You can barely see it, but it's there. So, I'm thinking, this is where the killer hid. He somehow crawled into this ventilation system, and from here, he had a clear line of sight to shoot Chase below.
Did anyone hear a gunshot? Seems pretty likely you'd hear one, even with a silencer. It's going to echo through the ductwork.
What's directly above this?
The scene changes to the space above the cell, where we see a small hole punching through the vents above. Scully, Doggett, and Trugero, who we're never going to see again, are mystified by the shot. It seems impossible, until Scully keeps heading up, taking the ladder to the ceiling, where she locates a hole in the roof. Doggett wonders if it was a lucky shot, but Scully recounts how the victim declared he'd be killed moments before, so no luck at all here. Doggett looks around, finding a small burned wad of cloth. He identifies it as the Godfather trick, using a towel to muffle the sound of the shot, as seen in the movie Godfather 2, except, side note, that trick is a Hollywood invention and totally doesn't work.
Right.
Anyway, Doggett takes it as evidence that the killer was up here all right. So how did he make the shot? Scully suggests a thermal imager so that they could see through the walls, but Doggett shoots it down. Sorry, Okay. The technology for that weighs 90 pounds and is cooled with liquid nitrogen. Plus, it's pretty ballsy to make a shot on top of a police station. So we cut to the streets as a... Unless you want to say anything before we move on? I feel like you might.
I just had a quick question.
Sure.
So the shot comes down.
Yeah.
Right? Was that... And this is just me picking right now. Was it too much blood do it. In the beginning?
I'm sorry?
It's almost as if his head literally explodes, which I don't think is what happened because we has an X-ray. So I was thinking if the shot comes down, the blood felt like too much at that point in the beginning. It came more forward as if he were shot from behind, but I think I'm nitpicking.
Well, if we look...
I'm not holding that against the episode. I'm just saying, like, as a production, I think that was perhaps a little too much blood.
It's the first of a list of grievances that you have against this episode, because one of us has to do it, for God's sake.
Oh, for the love of God, we do.
I'm there with you. I am willing to believe that when you get shot in the brain with that amount of force, there's going to be a compression effect and an expulsion of blood somewhere.
Or you could do hot fuzz. Is it true that there's a point in the brain where if you shoot it, your head will explode?
Yeah, exactly. They do make a big deal that the bullet is armor piercing. I think that is to line up with the idea that, spoiler, Randall can shoot through walls. Though, truth be told, the walls he's shooting through are perilously thin and wouldn't stop a regular bullet anyway. So
right.
I'm okay with the idea. Like, he needs the armor-piercing bullet to shoot through multiple walls. We'll get into the
just
tech
as a fail-safe, I think, yeah.
Yeah, we can get into the technology aspect of how bullets penetrate walls and why that might not happen later on, but...
It's okay. I'm okay if we don't have to do that.
Oh, no, we might have to. I don't know.
I don't think anyone's coming here for hard-hitting journalism, but...
It's true.
You know, we have done it before, so, you know, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. For right now, I'm okay. I mean, I think that is the least of the episode's sins, is to do a dramatic blood blap.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we're going to cut to the streets as a 1988 Nissan Stanza wagon. And yes, I did look that up to find out what
like I said, hard-hitting journalism, investigation.
Well, I looked at that vehicle. It is so weird.
This show is rife with that stuff. They find the weirdest cars for each individual episode.
Now, as it happens, both my parents owned a Nissan Stanza.
Really?
So, yeah, when I saw it, I'm like, the lines of that car look very familiar, but this is the earlier boxy model, the Stanza
Definitely
wagon before they made
car.
a sedan.
Yeah.
Well, it drives up to an industrial part of town, lots of tall garage doors and brick buildings, and a woman gets out, walking into the office of AAA-1 Surekill exterminators. Inside looks very industrial, lots of drums and fluorescent lighting. She goes to her desk, reading a paper, and checking the answering machine messages. We see what she's reading, an article about the murder of a local realtor. Suddenly, the message left by the man last night is playing. The woman, Tammy Payton, is alarmed, especially when the man mentions that she is lying and that the evidence is in the right-hand desk drawer. She erases the message and checks the drawer. It's a locked box, which she opens to check, and we see a book inside. Satisfied, she closes and locks the box, replacing it in the drawer, locking it when she is interrupted by a man. We'll learn that this is Dwight Cooper. She gives a flimsy excuse, and Dwight gives her the gears, wanting coffee, and that she should have checked the messages on the machine as that light is blinking. There's a dramatic pause as she thinks that maybe the dead man left another accusatory message, but finally playing it, we hear it's just a call for an exterminator. There are still rats in his building. As Dwight goes, Tammy goes after him, asking Dwight if he'd heard the news about Carlton Chase, the dead man. And the look on Dwight's face suggests that maybe he does know about it. Try and get Randall on the phone, he orders Tammy as he leaves. Moments later, Randall walks in, and Tammy tells him his brother's looking for him. All right, so we've introduced our main characters. What do you make of these folks?
Well, I mean, he is definitely suspicious.
Oh, he's a piece of work.
Yeah. He gives the abuser vibe, if I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah. This is the beginning of him being a piece of crap.
Yeah. Should be noted that Michael Bowen, the actor, is Robert Patrick's good friend, biker buddy.
Yeah.
So he was very excited to have him on set. Sounds like it was a good time that day or those days.
Oh, they have some nice scenes together, yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, this is setting everything up for the episode, and it paints a picture of no one in this episode is good. So everyone's got something to hide.
I would call this a classic caper in that you're given little nuggets of information, little bits and pieces of evidence, and it doesn't come together until the end. Who is what? And I like it. I like that a lot. So we cut to Randall at the dumpster outside, dumping a bucket of mice. One is still moving, and Randall shows us just how compassionate he is by grabbing a 2x4 and crushing it. Dwight follows him. He joins him outside. Randall is the model of a gentle giant. He doesn't talk much, thinking long and hard before he speaks. Dwight presses him on the events of last night, not angry about what Randall might have done, but just concerned that when Randall does something without telling him, he could get them both in trouble. Randall reveals that Carlton was stealing from them, skimming off the top. But Randall can't produce the money. Dwight's clearly the brains of the operation, and he offers Randall a sandwich, meatloaf, just though he likes it. Randall smiles, and it looks like they've made up, saying that, are they going out tonight? Later that morning, Doggett and Scully visit Chase Real Estate. The police station is less than a mile from his office, and Scully goes through Chase's papers, noting that Chase did a lot of business with AAA Surekill, 6 jobs in just 1 month. Doggett checks in the back, finding something on the floor, a gun and a shell casing, 45, not the same as the bullet that killed Chase. Doggett turns off the lights, and we can see bullet holes in the walls, light streaming from outside. Who is the target? Scully guesses that it was somebody outside. We got some curious little plot pieces here. When you were watching, did you start putting the pieces together?
I think I was along for the ride on this one. Obviously, we know that Randall is the killer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So there wasn't much mystery in that, and I don't think there's intended to be. The question is, how does he do what he does?
Yeah, that's the mystery.
Yeah, I was on board. I was having fun with this one.
Yeah. Later that night, 11:32 p.m. exactly, at 1310 South Main Street. It's a cool night scene as steam pours out of a manhole on a wet city street. Inside the building, 3 men conduct some dirty deeds. Dope deal. Dwight walks in like it's no big deal, but it's a big deal to the 3 men who all pull guns on him. Dwight announces that he's not a cop, but he will be taking the money and the dope. This isn't funny to the guys who decide they're just going to kill him, but Dwight lifts his finger gun and proceeds to shoot each of the men in turn.
Bang. Bang. Bang.
A moment later, Randall enters, a gun in his hand, the barrel wrapped in a towel, which is burning near the end. And we cut to commercial.
That's cool. I like that. I like it. It is dramatic. It's theatrical. It's obviously this episode is riding a line between super serious and a little bit of play.
Yeah.
The finger guns thing, I think, is a nice little visual gag for the audience.
I think that they wrote the episode kind of around that as one of the big scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, other than the towel around the gun business is kind of a clue which brings them closer. Why not just give them a silencer?
It looks cooler. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And the little flame on the end. I mean, unless it's covered.
The only thing I'll give the episode this and the writing this, either the writer, Greg Walker, is that who it was?
Yeah, that is.
Yes, Greg Walker. Either he was actually obsessed with Godfather 2 and must need to do this.
Could be.
With the towel, or he thought ahead and think these guys aren't very sophisticated. So chances of them having a silencer for a rifle like that would be slim to none. So maybe, you could go either way with that.
And they like the look of him coming in with a little bit of burning on the end of the...
Yeah, I think that's a cool scene. I think that's fucking get it done, man.
All right. Looks cool, but technically it's trash. I'm all right with that. In classic X-Files tradition, we come back from commercial to the same warehouse, but now it's a crime scene. Police officers are clearing the area for forensics, but Scully has clocked holes in the wall.
So which kind of shooting was this? Lucky, coincidental, or some third alternative?
Well, it's precision marksmanship, that's for sure. These holes line up perfectly with the 3 victims behind there, which tells me that the shooter was standing right here behind this wall.
Consequently, wouldn't be able to see what the hell he's aiming at.
Unless he could see. The light our eyes can register is only one small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. Other wavelengths from infrared to gamma have other properties. X-rays, for instance, can pass through solid objects.
Walls, for example. So, you're saying this guy used some kind of X-ray machine? Wait, you're not saying this guy has X-ray vision?
I'm remarking that these wavelengths exist, and the only thing that is stopping us from seeing them, if you will, is the biochemical structure of our eyes. I'm conjecturing that if this structure were somehow different, we'd have the ability to see things that we don't.
Calling Clark Kent.
Okay, so you explain it.
Well, I can't, so I'm sticking with what I do know.
Which is?
That this was a drug ripoff. Furthermore, it's the 5th drug ripoff in this area in the past 2 months. And somebody's making a living capping local drug dealers.
And how does a dead real estate agent figure into that?
Well, that I don't know yet. But I did find out one more thing. Sulfuryl fluoride.
The scene changes back to Tammy Payton's office as she runs cash through a counting machine. Dwight enters, asking to see her in his office, with a heavy suggestion that it's for more than just a performance review. As she goes with him through the workshop, Randall looks up, his almost stalwart expression showing us he's got feelings for Tammy. Randall watches as the two go into Dwight's office, Tammy beginning to disrobe. She wishes that Randall could go for lunch or something. He's practically right outside the door. Dwight says he'll keep the noise level down if she will. Meanwhile, Randall looks on at the closed door, watching as if the door wasn't there at all. Randall's attention is taken by the front door, reacting to something we don't see. He turns and walks away, and a moment later, Scully and Doggett enter through the door, announcing their presence. Soon enough, Dwight enters. Doggett shows Dwight a paper and asks him if he recognizes it. But Dwight tells him that his eyes aren't so good, legally blind since birth, and he calls out for Tammy to join them, who comes in, tucking her shirt back into her pants. Tammy reviews the documents, their invoices to Chase from last month. Dwight tells them that Carlton was one of his best clients. Doggett reveals that they found traces of sulfuryl fluoride, an insecticide used by pest control, on a piece of fabric at the murder site. Dwight deflects by saying that the chemical is used by over 200 similar businesses in Central Mass. Doggett confronts Dwight with his criminal record, but Dwight's reformed now, members of the Chamber of Commerce. Doggett has just one more question. Why did Carlton Chase call the office just 14 minutes before he was murdered? Dwight doesn't know. They were all gone home, and there wasn't a message on their machine. Doggett decides to let it slide as the two of them leave. So, how did that strike you, that little interaction there? A scene between best buds Robert Patrick and Michael Bowen?
Yeah. The character of Dwight is taken to a level that we saw was coming.
Oh, yeah. He's a douchebag.
At least a little bit of a user. You don't trust anything this guy's saying, and I don't think that the agents do either, obviously. So,
oh, no.
Good scene to show that he's not a very good bullshitter, and as much as he wants to pretend he's an upstanding citizen now, not buying it, sir. Not buying it. And her performance will be reviewed. I know you mentioned that. I'm sure he has a gold star system.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got a little book. A book of his own that he keeps in his own right-hand desk drawer. With stars, in fact. Yeah, he's that piece of shit, that character.
Yeah.
Well, Tammy tries to go back to work, but Dwight asks her what she knows about that phone call.
What do you know about that? About Carlton calling here?
I guess he must have left a message.
What did it say?
I didn't hear it. I was reaching for the play button, and I hit the erase button by mistake. I should have told you. I was just afraid that I lost us some business, maybe.
Come here, baby. You know, I can't see worth a damn. That's when I have a look at your eyes. The eyes are the windows of the soul. They tell you everything you need to know about a person. So tell me. Are you lying?
Dwight's been holding a lighter close to Tammy's face the whole time, the flame uncomfortably high. She trembles as she lies to him, but apparently she's a better liar than he's able to read, and he extinguishes the flame, apparently satisfied. That's all he needed to know. Question for you, Mike.
You know, yeah.
Where have we heard that music before? Because Mark Snow has used that in other episodes.
that sound effect?
Yeah.
It's not the music, it's the sound effect.
Yeah.
That is a season 2 thing.
I thought so.
And I was going to bring that up earlier, but I let it go because I didn't realize it was happening so much in this episode. But it is a very much a season 2 episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that little fade in quick weird sound effect that comes in, that is a season 2 thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard that in decades, it feels like, but
it's been a long time.
Yep.
Enough that I thought it was familiar.
Yes, very much. It's a very classic. Now that you're mentioning, this feels like a classic Caper X-Files episode. It fits in this episode. So Good on Mark Snow there.
Well, they are definitely casting the characters in a certain light. If anything, we're going to have to wait and see who they truly become. Dwight's not getting any worse. No spoilers there. But right now, I think we're all Team Tammy, thinking that she's in over her head.
Absolutely. At least in this regard.
We cut to Scully and Doggett running Dwight Cooper's records. The two were arrested together for Grand Theft Auto, but Randall didn't serve as much time as Dwight. How does a blind guy steal a car? Scully notes that they have the same birthday. They're twins. Doggett hates twins. They never rat each other out. But Scully suggests maybe there's someone in that office who will. And as if to underline the point, the scene shifts to Tammy Payton at night, getting ready for bed. She sees a shadow outside her apartment, and indeed it's Randall Cooper, silhouetted by a lamp. So I figured this out. They share adjoining apartments, and, it's not weird at all. And his lamp backlights him, so his shadow shows up on the wall, and she sees it. So it's like he's gone to great pains to make sure he knows that she knows he's there.
Yeah, he's not very subtle.
No.
Not good at being a creep, but he is a creep. It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support.
Well, she leaves to take a bath, and we see Randall staring at the walls between them. We have a nice shot of Randall's vision as the camera tracks forward, phasing through the walls until we see Tammy in the bathroom, undressing for her bath. It seems she can feel his eyes on him, but that's crazy talk. Randall continues to watch like a frustrated Fox viewer as the scene fades to commercial. I'm surprised that Fox didn't go. It's too creepy. But I'm surprised in another life, Fox didn't go to, a candle-filled bathroom, 1,000 candles ready. And she's getting into
Donnie
the bubble
faster.
bath.
Donnie Faster. She doesn't have the money for candles. She's living paycheck to paycheck, sir.
Yeah. I can't imagine Dwight does more than minimum wage.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, after the commercial, we fade back into the street outside AAA-1 Surekill Exterminators. And fun fact, this address on Palmetto Street in Los Angeles
real.
It's real. It's where they shot the exterior for the episode, and it still looks the same today if you're in the mood to visit. You can even go onto Google Maps and look at the street view. That building, that green door, is totally still there. So
Yeah, they shot the whole episode in there, didn't they?
I don't know if the interior is the same, but certainly...
I think the interior is the same.
Oh, really? Oh.
I think it is the actual business.
Well, that would be very convenient for them. I think they hung a new sign or a sign for the episode.
Right.
Because I don't think you see it in the street view, but...
No, it was actually AAA-1 Surekill. And they decided to give them a lot of business.
They got a lot of business after that. Hey, were you the ones in the X-Files?
You bet. Can you?
That was us. We're twins, as it happens. Funny fact.
These guys are actually just workers.
That's right. They got hired because they nailed the audition.
Yes.
Tammy drives up and rushes inside the office, unlocking no less than 4 things. She unlocks the exterior door. She unlocks her office door. She unlocks the desk drawer and is about to unlock the box from the drawer that she takes out when she's interrupted. Dwight and Randall have arrived. Things look grim for Tammy when a voice calls out. Agent Doggett has arrived with a search warrant, looking for evidence relating to the murder of Carlton Chase. Doggett sees the lockbox in Dwight's hands. When asked, Dwight doesn't know what's inside, and Tammy doesn't remember the combination. So much for the easy way, says Doggett, who proceeds to force open the box with a screwdriver. But the box is empty. Dwight exclaiming that Doggett owes him for that.
You owe me for that. I run a clean business here. You're not going to find anything that's going to say otherwise.
Scully enters, not so sure about that, holding some files she'd like Dwight to explain. We cut to an interrogation room, Doggett asking Dwight about the invoices. Scully looks on, eventually heading into her own interrogation room with Randall Cooper. But Randall's a rock, not answering her questions. Scully asks how their little company could bill over $700,000 in a year. Doggett follows up in the same line with Dwight, who answers that he's just a regular Joe providing a public service. And we see that Randall is watching Dwight and takes his answers for his own. Randall is also just a regular Joe providing a public service. Scully checks Randall's line of sight, guessing that he's seeing Dwight's interrogation through the wall. Scully cracks the case, telling Randall she knows he can see through the wall to read his brother's lips. Using his ability to shoot drug dealers from behind walls, that's how he made all that money. Randall denies it. Scully tries to divide and conquer. The whole thing was Dwight's idea, but it's time for Randall to be his own man, to think for himself. Will he? Mike? Will he?
He's got a choice to make, sir.
Well,
will he finally think for himself?
It's only halfway through the episode. He's certainly not going to make that choice now.
Not just yet.
Not just yet. We get to Doggett and Scully going into a separate room to interview. I guess not interrogate. It's a gentler interview. Tammy. Meanwhile, Dwight and Randall sit together. They've got a problem that needs to be taken care of, heavily implying that Tammy is the problem and heavily implying that taking care of Tammy involves putting a bullet in her brain.
That's I don't know.
You were about to say something funny.
No. I think I mean, I understand that Dwight would jump to killing her, but it seems harsh. He knows better than this. Even Randall, I don't think that he could convince Randall to do that. But he chooses that is going to be her fate. So whatever episode. I just don't think that he would jump to killing for her. But that's me trying to pretend that she means something to him, I guess. I don't know. Keep going.
I don't know. I see him as the piece of shit who's willing to dump her because she might blow the thing open.
Well, absolutely. I think some other sort of retaliation. I don't know why my mind goes there, but he chose death, so that's where we're going.
Well, I think the episode is pretty black and white in the villains and the heroes to some degree. Mm-hmm. I mean, Tammy's, a lot of gray at this point, but I think that a more nuanced episode indeed would not jump to him deciding that she needs to die. I think that if he is as smart as he thinks he is, he just wouldn't let her see anything that could incriminate her or give it evidence against him. And she says as much, or at least she implies as much, she just does the books. She didn't see them do anything illegal. So I guess maybe to defend the episode, Dwight knows she knows something, and that makes her a threat.
Right. Yeah.
I think we just don't see that. We don't see that history to know it.
Well, he's definitely on to her in being less than forthcoming. So
the whole
maybe there's a history.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So he must be clued in a little bit more than we see in the episode.
Yeah.
For longer, I guess.
Yep. In the interview room, Tammy pleads ignorance. She just does the books. Dwight doesn't tell her anything, but they want her to explain why Carlton Chase would be killed, as they figure he was their fence for the drugs, and killing him is just bad business. Unless the reason wasn't business, but personal. Tammy doesn't let anything slip, but the look on her face suggests that maybe it was. When she asks whether she's under arrest, that's the cue that the scene's going to end, and it does. We cut to Tammy's apartment, where she enters after a long day of being interrogated. As she's closing her blinds, she again sees the silhouette of Randall Cooper on the outside wall. He watches her still. Back with the agents, Doggett has found something interesting in Tammy Payton's phone records. Calls to Carlton Chase, all of them late night. Back with Tammy, she calls on Randall, entering his apartment. Doggett and Scully continue theorizing. Either Dwight ordered the hit on Carlton, or maybe it wasn't Dwight who was jealous. Back with Tammy, she approaches Randall in the gloom of his apartment. She knows it was him. Clearly, Tammy is not as dumb as the script might suggest. As she tugs on his lust for her, she still needs his help, and we fade to commercial. All right, we're entering the end game. Where are we so far?
I see Tammy, they want you to think she's a very delicate, innocent person, but I do see that there is a lot of suspect things going on with her, and I don't fully trust her in general. By this point, we see that she's going to Randall, and she's going to make a plea to him, I think. It's implied, at least.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever was convinced that she had his best interest at heart.
Oh, but I totally call this as him. She's twisting him around her little finger.
Yeah. To save herself, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have the clues here, Scully and Doggett have just found the calls between Tammy and Carlton. So the suggestion, I think, is that she and Carlton were having an affair and Randall killed him for it. But we have forgotten conveniently at this point about Carlton's plea to the answer machine saying, don't trust her. She's lying. Just check the desk drawer. So it's a nice circle, if you remember that bit of business, that, he's laid it out that she shouldn't be trustworthy. We've come to know her. We've seen her downtrodden enough to go, oh, well, no, I'm on Team Tammy. I trust her. And that's going to be eroded now as time goes on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the next day, Tammy arrives at the Worcester bus station with Randall in her car. She's got a plan to retrieve some money, but she needs the book that Randall took from the lockbox. A book he took to protect her from Dwight. She needs the book to get the money, so Randall produces it from his jacket. Inside is a key, and she's elated. Having made a reservation on the bus, she says she'll be back in half an hour, and they can take the bus. Randall's eyes betray his emotions. He worries she won't be back, but she assures him that she will return. Randall heads off as she drives away, and he waits by the bus. Now there is a loyal puppy dog, wouldn't you say?
I feel bad for Randall.
He's a bad dog.
Guy.
Yeah.
He's being manipulated by everyone.
Yeah, but he's a freaking callous killer, though. I don't know how much sympathy.
He's a killer, but he doesn't. I don't know. I feel like he doesn't know better, or his brother never gave him a chance.
I want one more page to show me some background of Randall and how he is constantly being, and he's being manipulated by everyone around him. I think that would solidify the character for me.
Yeah, I think he's very much the victim in this episode, more so than even Tammy. In certain ways, but he's a killer, yes, and there's no excusing that. But I think definitely he could have succeeded in life if he could get away from his brother. But alas, we doesn't
see that yet. So meanwhile, Scully and Doggett check out Tammy's apartment. Her clothes are gone. She's left in a hurry. Showing exceptional investigation skills, Doggett redials the last number Tammy called. Concordia Bus Lines. Bam! We've got our next clue. We cut to Craddock Marine Bank, where Tammy emerges, presumably laden with cash, but suddenly Dwight appears in the backseat of her car, threatening her with a gun. Dwight's figured it all out. She was the one skimming, and she's taken her money out of the safety deposit box. He orders her to drive, so she does. Back with Randall at the bus station, his creepy eyes show us that he's seen the trouble coming. Agents in their rental, 2 extra cop cars. Randall walks away. Meanwhile, back at the Surekill office, Dwight confronts Tammy about the money.
So this is how you did it, You kept 2 sets of books. Huh. You've been ripping me off for months. There's $100,000 difference here. Explains why you were in such a hurry the other morning.
Dwight.
Shut up! Randall should have killed you, not Chase. Or maybe you and Carlton were working together.
It wasn't like that. Carlton found out about the money. He blackmailed me. He made me do things.
Oh, I bet you put up a big fight. Now, wait a minute. If Carlton wasn't stealing from me, then why did Randall kill him?
Dwight, you don't understand.
No. I do understand. My brother was sweet on you. He killed Carlton because he knew what was going on between the 2 of you.
But Randall has arrived, interrupting the moment. Dwight produces his gun, giving it to Randall, forcing him to make a choice. Their blood, and she was stealing from them. Dwight leaves them, telling Randall he knows what he needs to do. Tammy begins to beg as Randall wraps a towel around his pistol. Tammy assures him that she was coming back for him, but Randall says,
No, you weren't.
It looks like it's curtains for Tammy, but a quick change to his aim as he fires, and we watch the path of the bullet as it travels through the walls until it meets the forehead of Dwight Cooper and sudden darkness. We cut to the Worcester police station. Randall is in custody, and he hasn't said anything. Doggett tells Scully that the APB on Tammy Payton has not found her. Scully says a man who could look at anything in the world and he chooses her. He must have seen something in her that she could not see herself. We end the episode on Randall, who is staring seemingly off into space until the camera tracks his eyesight one final time, going through several walls until it ends on a computer monitor showing the mugshot of Tammy Payton. And that's the end of the episode, Mike.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, lay it on me. What are your final thoughts for this episode, Surekill?
It's interesting. I would say, again, not again. It doesn't rank high on anyone's list of X-Files greats, I don't think. That's an assumption, but I think it's fair to say.
I would say.
The story's passable. It's understandable. It's compelling. X-ray vision and using it for crime, not a new concept, but still a semi-enjoyable experience. Overall, I think the episode...
Ooh,
I think bland. I think bland is a little too hard or harsh, but it's not entirely gripping because I feel like we get a good sense of every character immediately. Whereas, other episodes might have some nuance to it and keep us guessing a little bit more than this one. This one, I don't know if it's because they're all criminals, but there isn't much relating to the characters, I'll say. And, that's not to say I can't enjoy characters, and this is where Alien 3 comes in.
Okay, I was waiting for this.
I'm okay with things that center around bad people, right? So I'm notorious in my love for the assembly cut of Alien 3. One of my favorites, if not the favorite in the series, if I have to be honest.
I don't know if I've seen the assembly cut.
Oh my God, it is a different movie, and you need to see it.
I will check it out.
But
I still don't know how this relates to Surekill, but I'm waiting.
Well, I'm just saying everyone in this episode has bad attached to them, right? Tammy is a thief and a user, a manipulator. Dwight is a piece of shit. He's also a thief and a murderer. Randall's a murderer, although he's kind of the lovable dummy. I don't know that you relate to episodes where there are characters that you could identify with in some way. This one doesn't really give you that. I guess it depends on who you are, and for me, it's not great in that aspect. So, is it still a fun episode? Yes. Do I enjoy the ride it takes us on? Yeah, but I can think many other trips that I would prefer, if that makes any sense.
It does. It does. Well, I'll give you my final thoughts, and then I'll have a question for you.
Okay.
I think it's a good episode. I think it's filled with some excellent turns, and for a change, a semi-believable monster whose abilities are not explained with magic. I mean, the only thing that really is unbelievable is the makeshift silencer business with the towels, but that's really only a minor annoyance. Otherwise, we have a nice love triangle, some interesting characters, and a woman in the wind. On that point, I would ask you, do you think it would be a better episode if Tammy got caught?
Got caught.
If she was apprehended,
you mean like completely apprehended?
Yeah, because
instead of just alluding to it.
Yeah, the thing is, what's missing in this episode is the resolution with our agents. The climax has no Doggett and has no Scully, so they're there to do our epilogue, but they're not there when the shit goes down. So
yeah,
I wonder if that's part of the reason it's not compelling.
It could be. I mean, Scully's got it figured out pretty quick. So maybe their utilization is a little underwhelming in this episode, especially by the end. So that could have something to do with my rating. But
yeah,
I don't want it to come off like I don't like the episode. I think it's a good episode. It's just
me too. Yep.
A little bit less flavorful than other episodes. So
well, and the other thing that's missing, probably because it's not written by one of the mains. It's not Chris Carter Spotnitz. There's no little strings of larger plot threads being tugged. We don't get to hear about Scully's pregnancy. We have no further insights into Doggett's character. There's no arc business, and there doesn't need to be in every episode. But I think that, well, for me, I did primarily watch this series to sort of see the development of the larger arcs. So when a Monster of the Week came up, it'd be like, that was a fun ride, but, really where do these characters go? And we didn't get that here. So maybe that was another reason it wasn't satisfying completely. I don't know, just speculating.
Older Andrew's probably going to be kicking younger Andrew for that when the mythology episodes come around. So
yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, we're happy with the Monsters of the Week right now. Let's just leave it at that.
But yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable episode. All the actors did a good job. I do feel bad for Randall, but Tammy, for me, she comes off as a little less likable than she should. I don't know why, but that's just me. I guess she just treats Randall poorly, and that
of course
sits well for me. It doesn't sit well for me.
This is the exact same character arc as the villain in Hungry. How you're on side with him for the entire episode until, we see him make that decision to eat his landlord or whoever that woman is. I think that's who she is. Yeah. But it's the same thing with Tammy, where you're on side with her. You're on Team Tammy right up until the point you see her look at Randall and, I'll be back in 30 minutes. And there's just this sense like, I don't think you will. Won't. Like she's able to lie directly to Dwight and he doesn't see it. So that's the art. And to that point, that's one thing I wanted to bring up. Why on earth would she say, I accidentally hit the erase button? Why not just say, oh, honey, he didn't leave a message?
Yeah. I mean, see, that's kind of a gray area because I don't know if she's as skilled of a liar as perhaps we're led to believe, because I think Dwight was on to her, which is why he showed up early to the
she
shop.
She did not pass his test.
We think she passed, but she did not. So
yeah, I would buy that. Well, there you go. I think that as much as we need to say about Surekill, a nice, passably good episode. Mike, did you want to?
Would you rank it higher than Via Negativa?
Whoa. Okay, that's hard because if I do that, you're gonna have feelings.
No, that's fine. I'll sleep. I'm intrigued. You definitely have higher marks for the way you talk about this episode.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I think that Surekill is a good episode. I think that there are elements of Via Negativa which are great and terrible. So it's like...
So it evens out to good.
It kind of does. Like... Surekill is a well put together episode that sort of lands with a bow all tied, and there's no talking about it afterwards. Not really. I mean, you look at the length of this episode versus the one we'll have for Via Negativa. It's probably not going to be as long. There's more controversy, more open-endedness in Via Negativa, which I think lends itself to thinking and sort of puzzling over what they wanted to say. I kind of wish there was a bit more direction so that you were able to, be a bit more definitive, but I guess that was their point, to leave it. Either they got sloppy and they're like, it's good enough. It's like Kirsch saying, I'm good enough with this. We're done.
Case closed.
Case closed. But with Surekill, you get through the end of that and go, we're all done there. There's not much to really expound upon. So in the sense that the contrast is higher, lots of good and lots of not so good in my eyes, I think it's a more interesting episode for Via Negativa. But there's just enough stuff in Via Negativa that rubbed me the wrong way that I don't think I could say that I liked it more. How's that?
I gotcha. Understandable. Fair enough, sir.
Well, I dodged that bullet. Whew.
Now you need to go watch the assembly cut of Alien 3.
100%. And if that's my takeaway,
you'll probably still hate it. You'll probably still hate it.
No. There's just some bits in Alien 3 that's just like, the thing I dislike the most.
Dissect that series with you.
The thing I dislike most in Alien 3 is that in the opening credits, they destroy the legacy of Aliens. These characters who spent...
But that's part of what it makes it great.
They spent 2 hours surviving LV-426 only to be killed in the opening credits. And I'm just like, oh my God, how heartrending is that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You love every character that is killed, just unceremoniously destroyed at the beginning of that movie.
For no great reason. Michael Biehn said he was available for Alien 3, and they didn't have the money to put him in the cast? It's just like, oh God.
It's such a wild, wild story behind that movie. And it is the number one example that I bring up when a movie turns out piss poorly. And that is studio involvement and their refusal to give creative control or allow someone to do their job. And Fox, essentially, the assembly cut is as close to Fincher's original vision as it could get. So that was like Fox's apology to how they treated him, and they released it in 2003. But yeah, because they could not keep their fingers out of it, he quit the movie in post-production. So, and the theatrical version is a butchering of the entire story. So, very different movie. Not perfect. I'm not going to pretend it's a 10 out of 10 or anything, but I really like it. And it is a bleak experience, but I like it. I think that movie, The Assembly Cut, is probably my favorite Alien film.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aliens podcast with me, Andrew.
I don't even know if we're going to keep this in here, but we'll see. Maybe I will.
If we're going to go down that route,
a little taste.
If we're going to go down that route, Alien Resurrection is even worse.
Agreed.
Because Jean-Pierre Jeunet directed that one and abandoned it and had it. I think Joss Whedon had to come in the edit to try and make some semblance of the film.
He abandoned it? I don't remember that.
He did his job, and then he left. And apparently they hadn't shot it all, so they had to go back and edit it together with what they had. And Josh Whedon, who wrote it, I think I believe this is the story. Basically, had to go in and fix it. You know, he's the script doctor, the edit doctor, and it's like.
Well, I know he wrote it.
Yeah. I just remember, I think I heard an interview with him saying that he brought in, or he had a meeting with Jean-Pierre Jeunet and said, why didn't you shoot these scenes? You know, why didn't you shoot what I wrote? And he's like, well, that's what the movie meant to me. You know, it's like, you didn't shoot it all, so how are you going to fix it?
Alien Resurrection, I have fun with it. And there was a point in my life where I liked it a lot. Simply because it showed a lot of creatures, and I'm a big creature person, movie effects, that kind of thing.
Sure.
But that has since gone away, since subsided, and I understand there's much more to it than that. I was very young when I felt that, but yeah, the Alien Resurrection, easily the worst. Still enjoyable in a weird way, because I'm a fucking simpleton for Sigourney Weaver. I love her, so...
God bless her. She tried to get out of those movies, you know, with Alien 3.
She tried in Aliens.
It's true.
She's like, kill me. Nope.
Or give me the friggin' happy ending, and then they come back. I mean, the dumpster truck of money they must have brought to her house to get her to go into Alien 3.
Right.
And
she's like, I want to shave my head.
Yeah, okay, but at the end of this one, my character falls into a burning vat. Like, there's no coming back, right?
5 years later. God damn it. Well, that being said, you know, as she can say as much as she wanted to do other things, or she was done with the franchise, she's fucking enjoyed it. She had a good career doing it, and she wouldn't come back if she didn't partly want to. So,
there's no forcing her to come back unless there's a role for her that she wants to
Ripley,
play.
and she gave it her all in every iteration of those movies. So she is part of my holy trinity of female heroes, and the other would be Scully.
Oh yeah,
and Sarah Connor.
Oh, Linda Hamilton.
That's my trifecta.
It's a good one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we're even still using this in the recording, probably not. But
save it for the Patreons. Save it for the Mixlers, so you can say this is the kind of shit we talk about on this podcast about the X-Files.
All right, Andrew.
Well, Mike, as is tradition, I shall leave you with the last word on our episode review of Surekill.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a public service announcement to treat everyone with respect. Even if they are a simpleton, if they have special abilities, don't use them. They're people too, so be nice and love your neighbor. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilespod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.